Hey guys, how we doing? Got a couple of them for you here on Monday. I told you I was going to try to do a little bit more this week, and I started looking through my bins, and man, I got a lot of stuff. So over 100,000 photos. Jeez, I can't believe it. This photo bin right here was from back in 2007. This was my first time at Motorsports Expo. Doug's Dirt Diary still not quite a year old at this point, and of course Norm Patrick. We lost him last week. The driving force behind this event, so I wanted to make sure that I showed something here from the 2000. This is the setup, so this is I believe it was Thursday then, because I believe it was still Friday, Saturday, Sunday at this point for Motorsports Expo. But a lot of people owe you a debt of gratitude, Norm. Of course, did Gator Racing Photo News as well, so we appreciate all that you did for racing. Dan Pilot in the bunch there, early days of Pilot graphic design, and boy, look at this drag car right here. You know I like the old Mopars, so even though it's got a cover over it, I had to make sure that I took a picture of that one. As you can tell, this is not the Center of Progress building. This is actually the cow building is where this particular one was. See how low the ceilings are and everything? They did that a couple of years that I know of, that they moved into that particular building. So boy, do we miss Dodge in NASCAR and all the other forms of racing. So why they let Toyota in, even though they don't make a two-door rear-wheel drive V8 sedan, is a story for another day, but we won't touch that today. So, but hey, sail paddles, George Catazano's IMCA modified. This is when these 600 XL modifieds were fairly new. They used to have a couple of these cars that you could rent and actually go on out and have some fun in them. Of course, it was a standard rental deal. You break it, you bought it, I'm sure, but a little too small for me being a big guy, so I never really thought much about trying to get behind the wheel of one. Couple of small block supers, which were still fairly new in 2007. And there we are. We had ourselves set up there. Worked out a deal with Norm, and he was able to allow me to go in there and have a little bit of fun. That banner doesn't look quite as good today. Sprint cars from the external haven't changed a lot, but we know that a lot has changed. There's the Hitman, Tony Steiner's car, throwing superstitions out the door with green and number 13 on the side of that car right there. So, of course, Steve Hulsizer always did the car shows. Green was no problem with him. How many of you remember Jack Terrell? There he is there with a whole bunch of Terrell's products, and they're made right in Syracuse. So he's still helping out one of his pro stock buddies right now. Kevin Cook right there, the 3X. Man, this was a lot of fun, but again, this was a long time ago when you think about it now. 15 years ago, that's a long time. So Tommy Sears, I believe this was actually Tim Sears, if I remember correctly, driving the Eric Hoppins number 83. And I believe that was Timmer's car back then, if I'm not mistaken. But I liked it how they used to put that underneath. There's the White's Auto Supply Dragster. I'm still trying to get in touch with them, hoping. I just haven't had any luck. So I'm hoping I can get in touch with them at some point and see what they're doing here today. So there's Pete Stefanski's number 2. Always nice to see him. There's the Plankinator. I'm going to pull down here just a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. And obviously moving cars around. There's Jack Terrell's Pro Stock right there. Kyle Lewis, I don't know how many of you guys remember him. And notice the side panels, the sail panels are clear. So that was kind of cool, you know. So moving some cars in. That's the Mike Martin car right there, that was. And some of those asphalt late models, cool looking cars. Bobby Henry's car, obviously set up to run with the sail panels. I remember this was Robbie Shuttleworth, I believe, is who this was. Ended up moving up to sprints. Rob Keller, always at those shows. And you see that picture that's down at the lower left? That's what it was. He actually did that at one of the racetracks. So Bob Buno's number 64 making its way in. Boy, he's been in stock cars for quite some time, hasn't he? The Short Track Super Series, you see their booth is set up right there. Lance Young, long-time sprint car veteran, was still winning a lot of races back at that time. Corey Sparks and his number 9 right there, Paul Kinney, when he was running mods before he made the move to sprints. There's see Mike Button and Danny Varen's car lined up, ready to show off. I never got a chance to see these vintage cars before, but how cool does this look? You know what? Never got a chance to see them. I'd love to see those at some point. Vintage asphalt modified there. That's the Ricky Newton car. And what a show. So much fun to be out at Motorsports. And of course, this is the setup day, so everything's still kind of new. A lot of mud bogging, very, very popular at that time, really even through the 90s as well, into the early 2000s and late 2000s. Chad Brockman's number 3. Bob Cordova, again, thanks for all you did for a lot of races over there at Pizza Logs. Still think of him every time I see Pizza Logs in the store. Brian Howland's number 51. No longer in racing, but we're thinking about you. Hoping you're okay. And, of course, one of Stuart Friesen's old rides. The Old Forge Power Sports team. Had a chance to go out and hang out with them one time. Good people. And remember when Tommy Kinsella was doing asphalt for a while? Well, you can sure tell that was his familiar paint scheme right there. Starlight Speedway doing a little advertising, trying to get some people to come and check their place out. And I had to show you this one. This is my alley at 5 years old. Not even, just barely 5 years at that point. Actually, let me think now. This is early 2007. She's 4 at this point, but had a feeling she was going to do something. She just loved her race cars. Hope you like it, guy. Hit the blue E down there to subscribe every time we're doing something cool. Got another bin we're putting up right now of a racetrack that was only around for a short period of time, but I'm sure you'll remember it. Thanks for watching, guys.